I'm usually feeding about 4 people, so I'm using 2 medium eggs. I've cracked them into a measuring cup just so you could see that I get about 1/3 cup of volume. So if that is a guide, I also use 1/3 cup of almond flour, which I'll be using as an oil replacement. By the same system, I use 2/3 cup of milk, simply doubling the amount of milk by volume. You'll also need 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and 1 tablespoon of vanilla sugar. You can also use 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract and 2 teaspoons of granulated sugar. I also have a bit of oil to brush the pan with that I'll be cooking the pancakes in. Lastly, you'll need about 1 1/3 to about 1 1/2 cups of oat flour. To make your own, it's as simple as placing some old-fashioned rolled oats in a blender until it becomes fine and flour-like. Begin by adding the egg, almond flour, and milk into a large mixing bowl and whisking them together. Add the vanilla sugar and/or extract. I initially add about 1/3 cup of oat flour just to give the mix a bit of body. And I further add the baking soda and baking powder. Give this all a good whisk, then begin to sift in the flour 1/3 cup at a time, whisking after each addition. I only sift in the finest of the processed oats to make sure that the pancakes remain fluffy. And it's up to you if you add the more coarse flour, but you should know that you'll end up with a slightly denser pancake. It's best to allow the batter to rest for about 10 minutes just to hydrate the oat flour a bit, as it's not quite as absorbent as regular flour. Lightly oil a preheated pan. I set it to just below medium heat because I'm cooking in a cast iron pan, so you can also modify your temperature based on your pan or griddle. Ladle in the batter, making sure to leave enough room between each pancake to be sure you can flip them easily. The batter is going to still be pretty thin, so make sure you see plenty of bubbles before you try to flip them. You can tell when they're done when they have just a bit of give and they bounce back against your touch. For the mixed berry syrup, you're going to need cornstarch, agave nectar, and 1 cup of frozen berries. In a microwave-safe container, sprinkle over about 1 1/2 teaspoons of cornstarch. Drizzle over 1 to 2 tablespoons of agave nectar, and then place it in the microwave for 1 1/2 to 2 minutes until it begins to thicken and the berries are heated through. You can also make this with a single type of frozen berry like blueberries or raspberries, which work really well. And you can also add more agave if you don't find it sweet enough. I would say that these pancakes are a lot more filling because of the oat flour as well as the almond flour that you use, and are a great alternative if you want to try something different from your basic white flour or whole wheat flour pancakes. I really hope you give them a try.